Hello viewers, Namaskar. This is AK Saini. I have brought a very good video for you guys to explain various modes of heat transfer thoroughly. And to begin with, let's see firstly what the heat transfer is. Actually, the heat transfer is a vast area which covers the vast applications in the field of mechanical engineering, particularly in thermal engineering. So, without wasting any time further, let's discuss the various basic modes of heat transfer. What the heat transfer is basically? Heat transfer is the transfer of heat, that means the thermal energy. When thermal energy gets transferred from one region to another region, from one point to another point, from one medium to another medium, so this is simply, you can say it is the transfer of the heat. And this transfer of heat or heat transfer may happen in any media through three different ways, through three different possibilities. And these three different ways are known as basic modes of heat transfer. What these modes are? These are number 1 conduction, number 2 convection, and number 3 is radiation. So let's discuss them thoroughly one by one. Firstly, let us see what the conduction is. To understand the phenomena of conduction, heat transfer, let us simply take an example. Let me take a rod of iron. This is an iron rod. Now what I do, I supply heat, that means the thermal energy, to end 1 or end A of this rod. This is end A, this is end B of this rod. I supply heat, certain joules of thermal energy to end A. Let me denote this by Q. So Q amount of heat is transferred, is supplied to end A. Now eventually what will happen, if you hold this rod with your hand through this point B, so after a few minutes or seconds, you will observe the end B of the rod gets warmed up. It also gets heated up. Your hand will start feeling the heat. But you had supplied heat to end A, not to end B. It means the heat has moved within the material from end A to end B. It has transferred within the material from end A to end B. This movement of heat within the body, within the solid, is basically conduction mechanism of heat transfer. Well, now what I do, let me take another rod which I directly attach with rod AB. So this is rod BC. These two rods AB and BC are firmly attached. These are in direct contact with each other at this interface B. So if you supply heat to end A of the rod AB, ultimately after a few seconds or minutes, end B will get heated up. And thereafter, a further time interval when it will be passed, the end C will also get heated up. Note that this rod is different from this rod. This material may be different from this material. These are two different rods, two different objects, but these are in direct physical contact with each other. So this is also the heat transfer from end A to end C, from end A of one body to end C of another body, provided the two bodies are in direct physical contact with each other. So in short, what the conduction is all about? Conduction is the transfer of heat within a body from one point to another point, or transfer of heat from one region of one body to another region or another point of another body when the two bodies are in direct physical contact with each other. So this is conduction. Why this heat transfer happens, whether it is conduction or convection or radiation, heat transfer is basically because of a driving force, that is the temperature difference. Whenever there will be temperature difference between the two sections, the heat will automatically start flowing from the region at higher temperature to region at lower temperature. This is a spontaneous process of nature. Like the current starts flowing from a region of higher potential to a region of lower potential. Like water flows from high elevation, that means from higher altitude or high potential energy region to lower altitude, that is low potential energy region. So higher potential energy region to lower potential region. Similarly, higher temperature to lower temperature side, there is automatic, there is natural, there is spontaneous flow of the heat in case of heat transfer. So this is simply giving the explanation of conduction mechanism or conductive mode of heat transfer. Now the question arises that within the material, how this conduction phenomena takes place. So to understand that, let us go in microform of any material. This conduction mechanism is basically because of two important things. The one is what we call as lattice vibration. Lattice vibration, and the another one is presence of free electrons. Free electrons. These two things are responsible for conduction mode of heat transfer. Now let us see what is lattice vibration. Again we come to the rod AB. You know, this rod AB is made up of fine particles which you can call as molecules or atoms on in atomic structure model. So let us focus upon a single molecule which is present at end A. Let that molecule be this one. This be the molecule under investigation. When this particular molecule takes heat from the external source Q, what happens? After absorbing the particular amount of heat, the molecule leaves its mean position and it starts vibrating. Because it is unbalanced in its own position, so it starts vibrating about its mean position. Now why it vibrates? I am not saying that it is leaving the surface. It may leave the surface. It depends upon the amount of heat supplied. To begin with, if I start supplying heat to the rod AB through this end A, the molecule present at end A, which is shown by green dot here, this particular molecule gets the heat, it acquires the heat, and after absorbing the heat, it gets displaced, it tends to displace from its mean position. Mean position is this one, this section. But the molecules which are in direct neighborhood of this particular molecule, first molecule, there is the molecular force of attraction between the two molecules. And this, you know, this molecular force of attraction is obviously present. That's why the material is bound as a one rigid solid body. So the attractive force between these two molecules restricts the movement of this molecule which acquires the heat. It doesn't let it go and leave the surface. It tends to restrict it. So ultimately what the possibility is left behind? This molecule, let this molecule, first molecule is suppose molecule 1 and second molecule is molecule 2. Now the molecule 1 starts vibrating about its mean position. So this way. So let us see. This is molecule 1, this is molecule 2. So now what happens with molecule 1? When it accepts the heat, it starts vibrating about its mean position. This is the mean position, this one. It starts vibrating like this. The displacement of this molecule about its mean position, which you can call as amplitude of the vibration, is directly proportional to the supplied heat. More is the heat supplied, more it will be displaced from its mean position. Suppose, to begin with, when it receives heat, it leaves its mean position and it goes towards this side, right side. It goes towards right side. Now what happens? The inertia force, inertia within the material tries to restore its position. So it comes back to the point 1. But again, due to inertia and due to the continuous supply of heat, it doesn't stay here, it comes in the left side. So this way the vibration is automatically introduced within the molecule. Now further, eventually what happens when the molecule 1 vibrates about its mean position? Just in the neighborhood of 1, the molecule 2 is present. So it collides with molecule 2. And when it collides with molecule 2, it provides a part of its thermal energy to molecule 2. And ultimately, the vibrations of molecule 1 are seized out, are damped out to some extent. And the molecule 2, this starts vibrating about its mean position. The vibrations of molecule 2 gets started up. Similarly, this molecule 2 will then strike the molecule 3, which will be in the neighborhood of molecule 2, and this will transfer its energy, some part of its thermal energy, to molecule 3. And this way, within the rod, the heat will start flowing this way. So this lattice structure is responsible for a solid to have conductive mode of heat transfer within it. The lattice vibration is there, molecular vibrations are there, and these vibrations are responsible to transfer the heat from one molecule to another molecule, from second to third, third to fourth, and this way a transfer of the heat continues within the solid. And the same thing will happen when the heat will come here. These two surfaces are in direct contact with each other. So the last molecule of rod AB is in direct contact with the very first molecule of rod BC. So last molecule of rod AB will transfer a part of its heat to the first molecule of rod BC by the similar procedure of collision. And this way the thermal energy will be propagated through the rod BC also. This is the conduction through lattice vibration. And of course, then the lattice structure, proper lattice structure, oriented lattice structure is present, like in the solids, the conduction will take place. Second thing is presence of free electrons. Now this is present in case of metals only. The metals are the materials which have free electrons in their outermost orbits. What free electrons are? For example, let us take an example of sodium. Sodium, we know it is a metal, atomic number is 11. So when we write electronic configuration of sodium, it is 2, 8 and 1. And we all know the atomic configuration, electronic configuration will be completed when the third orbit, which is now having one single electron, when this particular orbit will have 8 electrons, because the shell will be completed. If this is the sodium nucleus, so this is first shell, this is second shell, or this is third shell. So in case of sodium, there are 2 electrons in the first shell or orbit. In the second, this is nucleus. So this is the first orbit carrying 2 electrons, second orbit carrying 8 electrons, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the third orbit contains one single electron. But its electronic configurations will be completed, it will be stable when the third orbit will have 8 electrons. This we know. So to complete its 8 electrons, there are 2 ways. Either it may accept 7 electrons from some external source, from some external atom, or it may give up its one single electron to complete its configuration of 2, 8. So what the metals are? Metals are which are having free electrons in their outermost orbit, like sodium is there. It has only one single electron which is free. This is difficult to achieve 7 electrons, rather it is simpler to give away one single electron. So this is metal. So presence of free electrons is there within the metals. Now what these free electrons do? These free electrons within the metals act as thermal energy carriers. How it happens? When this heat is supplied to the atom of material, which is a metal, the outermost orbit electrons, it acquires the heat first, because it is in the direct vicinity of the external source of heat. So after acquiring the heat, it has tendency to leave the atom. As we know, in case of photoelectric effect, the same thing happens. The photons of light strike the material, and the electrons, outermost electrons, they leave the surface, which starts the current within the material. So similarly, when heat strikes the material, which is the metal, the free electron which is present in the outermost orbit, it receives the heat, it leaves the surface. When it leaves the surface, suppose that particular free electron was present here. Let this electron, free electron is this one. Free electron, let it be P. So this is P. Suppose this is present here. So when it will acquire heat, it will leave the surface. Basically it will jump from its position to a new position within the material, like this way. Suppose it comes here. Now again, this jumping displacement is proportional to the amount of heat. More is the heat supplied, more will be jumping of the electron within the material. So within the material, which is a metal, there are a number of free electrons present. These free electrons, when they acquire heat, they immediately jump within the solid, within the metal, from one atom to another atom. So this jumping of the electrons within the material, free electrons within the material, is responsible for conduction mode of heat transfer, because when they will jump from one region to another, they will not jump by themselves only. They will not be alone. They will carry thermal energy with them, which they had received before jumping. So they act as thermal energy carriers within the material. So this is how conduction heat transfer takes place within the materials. One is lattice vibration, another is presence of free electrons. In general, it may be concluded, or it has been observed, that out of total heat transfer through conduction in any particular application, of metals, around 30% of the heat transfer is because of lattice vibration, 30%, while 70%, around 70% of the total heat transfer through conduction is because of free electrons movement or jumping within the material. So this is the case of metals, because only in case of metals free electrons will be present and they will contribute more to the conductive heat transfer within the material. So this is in short all about conduction. Now one thing is important to notice in conduction, that the material bulk movement of the material doesn't take place in the conduction mode of heat transfer. If we ignore these free electrons, because this is responsible only, this is applicable in case of metals only, not in all cases. In all cases lattice vibration is the factor. So what happens in the lattice vibration, a particular molecule after receiving heat starts vibrating about its mean position, but it doesn't leave its mean position, it stays over there. Only it gets displaced from mean position towards left, right, left, right, left, right, and during this vibration it collides with the neighborhood molecules, and this way this transfers its heat to the surrounding molecule. So there is no bulk displacement or movement of the molecules of the material in conduction. This is the important line to underline. Next one is convection. So let us see what the convection is. To understand the convective mode of heat transfer, again let us take an example. Suppose we have a container or utensil or a bowl made up of a particular material, steel, copper, aluminium, and this contains some quantity of, suppose, water. Now what I do, I pick this container having water within it and I put it over the burner, over the heat. So heat is supplied. Now let us focus. When heat is supplied to this container, of course to heat up this liquid within it, what happens? The joules of heat which are coming from the source burner, from the gas, they firstly strike with the external surface of container. If I exaggerate this container, so this is made up of a fine layer, fine thickness of some material. If it is of steel, so it will have some thickness of steel. Whether it is in 1 mm, whether it is 1 mm, 2 mm, 1.5 mm, but it is there, it is present. When heat is supplied, the joules, that means the packets of energy, thermal energy, that strike upon the external surface, this surface, external surface, the outer surface of the material of which the utensil is made up of. Now see, this is a fine layer, fine thickness of material, solid material. This is, suppose, 1 mm, let it be 1 mm or 2 mm. So this is fine thickness and this is a solid. So how heat will move from this external surface or outer surface to the inner surface? From outer surface to inner surface, how the heat will flow? Since this is a solid body, so heat will transfer within it, as we have just seen in the previous case of conduction. So this is conductive mode of heat transfer through this fine layer of thickness of the material. There is conduction and there has to be conduction. Ensure it. Now when heat reaches internal surface which is in direct contact with the liquid over it. So this is liquid and this is the first layer of liquid. This is first layer of liquid, that this is second layer of liquid, third layer of liquid. So when heat reaches from external or outer surface of the material, solid material of utensil to the internal surface through conduction, now it has to penetrate within the liquid. Now how it happens, let us see. The very first layer of liquid is in direct contact with the inner surface of utensil. So this is a fact that the bonding between liquid and liquid particle, liquid to liquid particle, is weaker than the bonding between liquid to solid particle. This happens in most of the practical applications of various combinations of solid and liquid surfaces. So what I mean, the very first layer of liquid which is in direct contact with the inner surface of the solid utensil, that is having more strong bond than the bond strength which is there between the first layer of liquid and second layer of liquid. So ultimately what happens, the very first layer of liquid here, that is basically adherent, that is sticked to the inner surface of the utensil. So due to this sticked position of that first layer of liquid, the heat from inner surface of the utensil enters or moves to the first layer of liquid again through the conduction mode of heat transfer. Because I have recently explained in the conduction medium that when the two bodies are in direct physical contact with each other, the conduction takes place. So similar thing will happen here also. The conductive mode of heat transfer will work between the inner surface of the utensil and the very first layer of the liquid. Now see, the heat has entered into the first layer of the liquid. Now afterwards what will happen? First layer of liquid is in direct contact with second layer of liquid. So when this first layer of liquid receives heat, ultimately it is liquid. So after getting heat, its density decreases. It becomes lighter in weight, and what happens then? Because of its light weight, then the comparatively heavier dense liquid surrounding this very first layer, it gets displaced this way, either this way or this way, this side. It gets displaced by the liquid surrounding it, because that is dense, that is still at low temperatures. Due to this density difference, the cold fluid replaces this warm or hot fluid, liquid. When this liquid reaches here, it gets heat, it becomes lesser in density, it is again replaced by surrounding fluid. So this way the movement, circular movement, gets started up within the bulk. So notice that there is bulk movement in case of convection, bulk movement of the particles of the liquid, and it was not there in case of conduction. In conduction the bulk movement was not there, movement of the particle was not there, but here the movement is there. Actually movement is happening within the liquid, and these circular movements, these circular channels which are established within the material, these are known as convection currents. Convection currents. So you see, convection currents are established within the, are introduced within the liquid. and this phenomena will continue until every lesser temperature particle gets heated up. What I mean to say, when there will be uniform distribution of the heat throughout the liquid bulk, this phenomena of convection currents will carry on. So this is convection. So what convection is all about? Convection is mode of heat transfer, of course due to a driving force, that is the temperature difference. But how it happens? It is always associated with a very fine layer of conduction. I am repeating, convection is always associated with a fine, very fine layer of conduction, and then the presence of convection currents within the liquid. So this way the convection heat transfer works. Now we come to the last one, that is radiation. Radiative mode of heat transfer is very simple. Like we have sun in our solar system, in our universe. From the sun, the thermal radiations, you can call infrared radiations, they reach surface of earth, as we all know, in about 8 minutes of time. They do not need any intermediate medium to be present, meaning thereby the solar radiations travel through various media, and sometimes the medium is not present, like space. So it doesn't require any medium. If medium is present, well and good. If medium is not present, even then it is good. Thermal radiations have, or radiations have nothing to do with the presence of any intermediate medium. So this is how the radiation helps in transfer of the heat. These are thermal radiations. The radiations carry heat with themselves, and they transfer heat from one region to another region, irrespective of whatever is present between the two regions. Whether it is present or it is not present, it is not mandatory. So radiations are basically, one thing is to notice about radiations is, these are electromagnetic waves. Remember, electromagnetic, in short, EM waves. Electromagnetic waves are waves or radiations, rays, which carry two different fields. One is electric field, another one is magnetic field. And the interesting fact is, both these fields are perpendicular, mutually perpendicular to each other. They are orthogonal to each other, as well as they are perpendicular to the direction in which the radiation is moving. Like, if this is the movement of direction, direction of the movement of the radiation will carry one electric field, suppose it is E, one magnetic field, suppose it is M. So it will contain both the fields, and both will be mutually perpendicular to each other, as well as to the direction of, this is also perpendicular to the direction of propagation of radiation. So when I say whether the material, whether the media is present or not present, it doesn't make any sense. This is simply because the radiations can travel without the presence of medium. The only difference which the present medium makes is the speed of the radiations. The radiations move or travel at the speed of light. In any particular medium, whatever is the speed of light, in that medium, if radiations travel, those radiations will travel at the same speed. That is the speed of the light. So what is the speed of the light in space, so at that particular speed of light, the radiations travel through space. So only the speed is the factor which is governed by the presence or absence of any medium. Otherwise, the radiations can travel even without the medium. So radiations are electromagnetic waves. That means these carry two different fields, electric field and magnetic field, which are mutually perpendicular to each other, as well as to the direction of perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave. Second one is the electromagnetic waves travel at the speed of light. And third one is it doesn't need any intermediate medium to travel. So these are the three important factors. More is the temperature of the body, of a particular body, more will be the heat transfer through radiation. Radiation mode of heat transfer dominates where the temperatures are too high. For example, we have just seen the case of sun, where the temperature is in thousands. Similarly, on earth also, where we have forging plants, steel making plants, we have furnaces which operate at elevated temperatures, suppose 1000 Kelvin or 1500 Kelvin, 2000 Kelvin. So at this particular, this very high temperature range, the radiations come into existence. The radiations are there, but heat transfer through radiation dominates the heat transfer through another mediums, conduction or convection. More is the temperature of the material, more will be the intensity of thermal energy carried by the radiations. So if you visit any steel making plant where is a furnace is operational at suppose 1500 Kelvin, so it will be difficult for you to stand even 50 meters away from the furnace in case of hot weather. So this is radiation. And lastly, wherever heat transfer takes place, there are three modes of heat transfer: conduction, convection, radiation. All three are present. It is a silly statement, let me say, that conduction takes place in solids, convection takes place in liquids, and radiation takes place in gases. It's not like there. Wherever heat transfer is taking place, obviously that will be due to temperature difference existing, but that will be associated with conduction, convection as well as radiation. The only difference is sometimes conduction is responsible for total heat transfer, 90% of the total heat transfer, left out 10% is because of convection or radiation. Sometimes convection is more, sometimes radiation is more. So friends, please comment if you have liked this session, and please of course like and share this video to the maximum, and subscribe to this channel MEC online lectures, and press the bell icon for further notifications. I will be uploading various types of videos which are linked to this area, not only to the heat transfer but other areas of mechanical engineering in the coming time. So for all the updates, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon. And in case of any query, you may comment in the comment box, or you may contact at my WhatsApp mobile number, which is 6280546373. See you soon. Thank you very much. Have a nice time. Thank you.